wanted to make this quick video because I've been seeing recently some videos of foreigners that moved to Italy and they quickly become disillusioned with the lifestyle they were supposed to get once arriving in Italy because are maybe influenced by the movies with the concept of the dolce vita and everything is nice, everything is sunny, and they're gonna just enjoy life while working in Italy. But the reality is very different from that. I mean, there is a reason why there are like hundreds of thousands of Italians that in the last 2 decades left the country, and many of these people moved out especially for looking for better opportunities. And the job market in Italy is very, very tough, especially if you don't even speak Italian, if you don't have specific qualifications. Let's say that if you come with looking for a starting job, probably it's not the best country at all. And if you even have experience, actually it's difficult to get a good salary. And that's why I usually suggest people not to come to Italy. If you need to pick any country in Europe, probably it's not your best choice. So if you're just thinking about going to Italy for reasons like, oh, I want to get a good job, good salary in Europe, Italy is not the place. Like, don't think that the good sceneries that you can see in TikTok, Amalfi Coast, Cinque Terre, or even the sceneries of Rome and other cities in Italy, I mean, it's nice to see as a tourist, but that's not the life you're gonna have every day if you come here since I live in France now, if you go there with the intention of having a normal life, like you go to work for 5 days per week probably, so you're not gonna see and be a tourist every day. So in that regards, you need to think more rationally and logically and try to understand what's the best solution for you, for your career and for your life. Nothing stops you from coming to Europe and in a place where you can get a much better career, better salary, and then visit Italy during your vacation. So I already talked about many of the points, specifically in the other video. I will just go quickly on this topic. Salaries, of course, are one of the main pain points here because the salaries in Italy, I think I read in an article that are kind of stagnating, so they didn't increase on average on the last 30 years. It's one of the only countries in Europe where this happened, and this means that while the inflation and the cost of living in general is getting higher and higher, salaries are more or less the same, so the purchasing power is getting fewer and fewer. So there are cities like Milan where there are most of the jobs there because most of the companies, industries are there, and it's getting very, very expensive to live in. And if you keep getting a low salary, really you're gonna have a hard time to try to survive even in Milan, especially with an entry-level job. And actually, the other thing that for me was one of the main pain points was the work culture in Italy. It's very, very different. When I left my first job, that was in Milan, then moved to France, where the work culture was completely different, I had a very big cultural shock. That's because in Italy, I was used that what's most important is not like how efficient you are in solving your goals, is just to show that you are working hard. That means if you arrive early and go late at home, so you stay there 12 hours, it's much better than being efficient and maybe complete your task. Like if you complete your task too quickly, it's not a good thing there because it seems like you're not doing enough and maybe they give you even more work. So the only thing you get is just more work and no extra money, nothing. So they don't really appreciate your effort in that regards. While when I came in France, maybe I was lucky that it was a good company in the IT, and there I realized that if I was doing my task as I was supposed to do, even if I took much less time, it's okay. Like even if you go out 10 minutes earlier because you finish all your tasks for the day and it was pointless to start a new task 10 minutes before leaving, it was okay. Like nobody's gonna judge you for taking 10 minutes that day. Like this kind of flexibility was completely lacking in Italy. In general, what is missing is some kind of meritocracy That is something that most of the Italians complain about, because it's very difficult to really get recognized for certain achievement, and if you really want to put effort and do your best, it's not always recognized there. And as well, you can be seen as a threat. Like, there are people that are not very efficient, and if they see that you are, so you are standing out from them, they may be trying to block you, trying to do something to sabotage and try to put you in a bad light in order to not seem that they are a bad worker on their own. So this is something that sometimes happens, some part of the toxic culture that there is there. Unfortunately, it happens. And as well, there is another main issue, that is, in Italy there are a lot of small, medium companies, often family owned. So even if you are really good, and I mean, you will deserve to have certain promotion, maybe go into the management or something, you will not go there, because those positions are only for family members of the owners, and people that are picked not because of their qualities, but because they know the owner or they are family with the owner. So they are supposed to get that position, not for their skills. Now, moving out of the work culture in general, like, I see people not realizing that it's not just sun scenarios and the nice view with the trees in Tuscany or something. But if you're getting a job as an employee, most probably you're gonna need to be in the north of Italy, because most of the jobs are there, like in the Milan area or the north in general. And especially if you don't speak Italian, if you're looking for an English-speaking company, that is already something very difficult. You're gonna find it probably in the big cities and not in some small village in the south of Italy. So you need to realize that in the north of Italy, in winter, it's not really sunny at all. You have a very cold climate in winter and a lot of fog, so there is a lot of pollution as well. So you're not going to have this very nice sunny countryside scenarios like there are in the movies. Like, life is going to be very different from what you expect. And I think we need to also talk about, like, what are your expectations for the future. So you already see that the career is going to be very hard, very difficult, not impossible. Maybe you are lucky, you can find a good company, or even like, if you can get a job outside of Italy, like remote, and you have a better salary and you live in Italy, that's fine. Like, all I'm saying is that if you plan to have a job with a company based in Italy, you're gonna have a hard life. Like, of course, if you come from money, it's a totally different story. Like, if you already don't need to work, you just come there to retire, you can get whatever you want if you have enough budget. And actually they have a lot of laws that like tax reductions for wealthy people coming to Italy. So it's a completely different game, let's say, if you're just starting your career in Italy compared to coming with already a lot of money and moving to Italy. So I'm not referring to this other scenario. So supposing that you come there because you want to get a job there and you need to think about the future, one of the main discussion points that there are between Italians is like the retirement or the healthcare, because these are big topics and there are a lot of issues about it. We pay a lot of taxes in Italy to finance this, but the quality of the service is getting worse and worse, in part for the aging population, in part because there are doctors leaving the countries for this reason, the reasons of this video. And the problem is that if you want to get like a treatment or some medical visit for free using the national health care, you're gonna get into this very, very long waiting list. So sometimes you're gonna have to pay on your own anyway. So even though you pay a lot of taxes, you still have to pay your own medical bills, because if you want to be efficient in getting results, you have to go in the private way and not with the national free service, let's say. And regarding the point of retirement, it'll be worse and worse over the years. Like, I remember that I did a simulation some time ago, and I was expected to go in retirement at 71. And every year they are actually increasing a bit the time. So probably in 40 years from now, it's gonna be much higher, the threshold to go retirement. So basically, people nowadays of my generation, they cannot even think about their retirement as something safe, something they can look forward, because there are higher chances that you probably die while you're still working than waiting for the retirement. And as well, the amount of the money that they will give you is getting fewer as well. So it's not gonna work. If you really want to retire in Italy with a job there, probably you need to start investing for your own retirement with your own money, and don't expect the country to cover for it. So unless they found some magic solution from here to when you're going to retirement, it's gonna be very difficult. Even moving to another country in Europe as an Italian, you get this benefit that you're gonna go in retirement earlier with more money, and during your career you're getting a higher salary. So if you want, you can even save more money. So that's why it doesn't really make sense for me, for someone to go to Italy to become an employee for a starting job. Is really not worth it, in my opinion. Then, of course, everyone's life is different. Maybe you get this amazing opportunity. Maybe you're just going there because you have family there. So, okay, I can understand there are some life occasions that don't really depend on logical and extremely efficient financial reasons, but I just wanted to make a video, share my opinion, share what I think is the sentiment of many Italians that are considering leaving or already left the country because of the job market, because of the job opportunities, and probably many of them would like to stay in Italy to live closer to their friends, their family, in the country where maybe they already studied for many years, and instead of giving back to their country, they have to do it outside because it's not really worth it. You're not recognized for your efforts. And if they're planning to start a family, it's gonna be very, very hard because it's missing the infrastructure, you're missing the money to maintain kids, and if you just go not so far from Italy, like in Germany, in France, you're already having much more better opportunities and much more chances to get to those goals of life that you wanted. Now again, I didn't want to make this like super negative video, but I just wanted to be more realistic with the expectations that people do coming to Italy. I think they need to have a better and complete view of how it is to move to another country, especially in Italy, understanding how realistic is gonna be the idea of life in that country, that you have in your mind what it's really like. So let me know if you have any questions about this topic, because probably there is a lot to talk about. I missed a lot of the points I wanted to make, but I just wanted to make a quick video with sharing some opinions. So in any case, let me know and see you in the next video. Bye guys.